yourself out. It's all good. Whoa, man, the last bout of the day, my friends. Mass Maelstrom taking on the Toronto Outrage here in the beautiful Fitchburg, Massachusetts. The final bout of Battle of Bunker Hill 2018, Day 1. I'm your good buddy, Oso Blanco Fabuloso. Sitting next to me is the incredibly talented...
Oh, hi, you're so nice. My name's Beautiful Banshee, back at ya, and like he said, we have the great matchup to close out the day of Outrage versus Maelstrom. Saw strong performances from both earlier on. Maelstrom taking a victory over the Quadfathers.
Ooh, that was Quadfathers, actually.
Oh no, it was Quadfathers, that's right.
Quadfathers.
I'm sorry, I caught the tail end, and it's been a long day, guys. So that's right. So
that's
both
okay.
teams, neither team has won today, so it should be interesting to see because we know there always has to be a winner in roller derby.
Absolutely, and we're getting started. We've got My Baby Daddy wearing the star for Mass Maelstrom, and that is Senior Wiener wearing the star for the Toronto Outrage. My Baby Daddy out in front, lead jammer, coming back around and about to re-engage that pack. My Baby Daddy knocked to the outside, knocked to the inside. Senior Wiener coming around to get inside that pack. My Baby Daddy calling it off from the track floor. How many points did we get on that? None for Toronto Outrage. 3 points on the board for the Mass Maelstrom.
So the interesting thing here, you guys please bear with us because we have Maelstrom who's wearing blue jerseys with white accents, and then we have Toronto Outrage wearing white jerseys with blue accents. So if we get a little verklempt because, you know, tongue-tied because of the colors, bear with us. We appreciate it. And remember, if you want to say hey or if you want to give a shout out to anyone, make sure that you tag us, hashtag #talk2, that's number 2, Bob H on Twitter. But back to the gameplay, we have Kilman versus Rocky. I'll throw ya. Kilman has lead, well, he did anyway, before picking up that bat block. So that means Rocky, I'll throw ya from Maelstrom, who's going to take it to the inside on the back stretch, drawn back, take it to the outside. Spencer Sleep, dastardly blocker, doing some work, trying to pull a cut on Rocky, I'll throw ya. We've seen Spencer Sleep be a defensive and offensive force in the pack earlier on in the day. The Outrage going for the penalty kill. We'll see if they can make it happen or if Rocky will surpass them. Rocky getting knocked by Spencer Sleep. Going around the outside, Sleep finds him once again. Oh, some tractor trailer action, sweeping Rocky to the outside and driving him back between turns 3 and 4. An effective penalty kill as Kilman is back on the track. Though taken, oh, it appears a cut track call. So back, but gone so soon. Back to the penalty box he goes. And a big shoulder hit coming from Spencer Sleep, maintaining that ever-vigilant defense position at the front of the pack as it extends out between jammer and pivot lines.
That was pretty tough there for a moment. Toronto with 2 blockers and their jammer in the penalty box. Rocky's still unable to get through to get any more points.
Overall, successful penalty kill on behalf of Toronto Outrage. We'll see how many points, if any. Oh, okay, Maelstrom did end up with the 5 points on that. So despite all the jostling around that Spencer Sleep caused for Rocky, he picks up 5 points.
Toronto Outrage also picked up 2 points on that jam. Mass Maelstrom at 8, Toronto Outrage at 2, 26 minutes and 26 seconds on the clock. Now we've got Andy out there wearing the star for the Mass Maelstrom and Shred Flanders for the Toronto Outrage.
Both jammers in the pack. Andy is first out. They have acquired lead jammer status. Pack keeping it slow in turn 1. And Shred Flanders still working on it. has stashed the star, has exited the pack as it moves slowly into turn 2. Andy spitted into the back stretch. 4 points to their credit.
Smart move there on Andy's part. The Toronto Jammer out in front calls it off before they could enter the pack again. Mass Maelstrom at 12, Toronto Outrage at 2. With 25 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock. Five seconds to go. Out there, we've got Senior Wiener once again for Toronto Outrage, taking on My Baby Daddy. My Baby Daddy rocketing right out of that pack, taking lead Jammer by the horns, running with it. Wow, that was an interesting, really getting a track cut penalty after that apex jump. There was a nice little pirouette, and Senior Wiener was skating backwards for a second, but got that track cut. My Baby Daddy coming through. That's 5 more points on the board for Maelstrom. My Baby Daddy coming back around.
Now the pack extending in the backstretch all the way from the edge of turn 2, and now has accordioned back to the mid backstretch. And we're seeing the pick coming from Pickering. How fitting. And My Baby Daddy getting caught up in that defensive stronghold, which includes Sylvia Sleep, along with number 17, Smarten Up, and Pink Slaminade, really doing a number, driving My Baby Daddy back, and Senior Wiener back on the track, so Power Jam is over.
Oh, Senior Wiener able to get through the pack, now on the scoring pass. Gets called off with 30 seconds left on the jam clock. Mass Maelstrom picking up 14 points that time, bringing them up to 26. Toronto Outrage stuck at 2.
And just the first 4 jams telling a story already. We've seen the constant theme earlier in gameplay with the Philadelphia Hooligans, their previous 2 games, where they who possess lead jammer control the game, or at least that's the way it panned out. And right now, the higher points belonging to Mass Maelstrom, all 4 of the first 4 jams, they acquired lead. But that streak has been broken by Kilman. Picking up the lead for Toronto.
Oh, Kilman getting hit by Pearl Jammer. Kilman finally making it through, grabbing 5 points. Rocky still out there trying to get through. Getting recycled. Now the silk is off. Looking for a pass. Thought I saw the pass there a moment ago to Recula. Looks like the star is in Recula's hot little hands, and Toronto knows it. Recula getting sent to the penalty box. Kilman on a scoring streak, 15 points so far. Nope, make that 20, bringing them up to 22. Mass Maelstrom still at 27. Kilman able to get through the pack without issue once again, 25 points. And that's it, calling it off. Toronto Outrage now at 27, Mass Maelstrom at 27. We're tied. Toronto Outrage is going to get that, get a nice power start there. What do they have out there? That is 5-1-3.
And of course,
5-1-3, Shred Flanders. There we go.
Yep, and we have that 27-point tie there with 21 minutes remaining in the half. And just to let our fans know, I understand that our overlay does say hooligans versus quadfathers. I do apologize. Unfortunately, Rancor, who's playing currently with Mass Maelstrom, is the only one who can fix that for us. It will be fixed for when the game posts to the archive. So we appreciate your patience. And not to mention the score overlay. I know it's missing because there were some technical difficulties, but we will most definitely keep you updated. But getting back to gameplay, Spencer Sleep with the drawback, but does pick up an out-of-play block call. Count Recula with the star. Pushing up, trying to get past Pink Slaminade. Oh, and manages to do so, taking lead. And over a minute into the jam.
Jeez.
It really speaks to the defensive efforts of Toronto Outrage.
Santa Vaca, we're still at 27-27 after that jam. 20 minutes left on the clock. I am shocked to see a tie score after another jam. All right, looks like Andy's wearing the star for the Mass Maelstrom. And we've got 888, that's Senior Wiener wearing the star for the Toronto Outrage. Andy getting through the pack. Oh, wow, that was some great footwork just on the edge. Andy out front as lead jammer, Senior Wiener in hot pursuit. And that pack is moving fast. Jammers are having a hard time catching up. All right, that's 0 for Toronto. Again, for the second jam in a row, 0-0. Mass Maelstrom still at 27. Toronto Outrage also at 27. I wonder how long they can keep this up. That is amazing.
Well, you know, it's funny how these things go because nobody wants to give, but something will have to eventually.
Just an interesting stalemate. I've never seen this one before. Now we've got My Baby Daddy taking on Killman. Killman finding an inside track. Able to take lead jammer. My Baby Daddy getting recycled back before turn 1. Killman on the scoring pass.
Spencer Sleep with the shoulder, taking My Baby Daddy out in turn 1. Toronto's defensive efforts able to catch My Baby Daddy heading into turn 2. Spencer Sleep along with Pink Slaminade with the drawback to turn 1. Meanwhile, we've got Killman facing a Breeze 2 wall from Maelstrom. Doug along with Pickering, not enough to hold Killman back. 5 points up for the Toronto Outrage.
Bringing them up to 37 points. Mass Maelstrom still at 27. My Baby Daddy with that Star Silk in hand, looking to pass it off. No. My Baby Daddy now in the penalty box. Killman, 15 points on this jam, bringing him up to 42 points. Oh, that's good. Killman getting past the pack and calling it off. And that's another 5 points. Killman grabbing 20 points on that jam, bringing him up to 47. Mass Maelstrom stopped at 27.
Seeing some high output from Killman.
Whew. Like you said, something had to give, and it turned out it was the Maelstrom.
Yeah.
So there we are. We're in a timeout, folks. Happy to have you guys here on the stream. As usual, feel free to reach out to us at hashtag #TalkToBobH. That's talk, the number 2, BOBH. Let us know what you think. Let us know who your MVPs are. And let us know what song you think would best fit this bout.
That is a quite interesting question. Although another one too. Who do you think has the cutest cat in roller derby? Crimson Alchemia might have tweeted me with that earlier to the hashtag #TalkToBobH, and I told him, you know, that's a tough one. So we were talking about it. I prompted people to show us their cats or their kittens.
And you should have seen the response we got. It's really not something we can talk about on the air.
Oh no, that's terrible. I didn't see those tweets, but
oh,
okay.
I guess they were just
perhaps someone's getting personal texts. Behave, sir. I was gonna say none of that. Keep it clean for those kiddos. This is a family show.
This is a family show.
All right, but speaking of Senior Wiener gymming up against my baby daddy, but of course the power start with MBD in the box. Senior Wiener pushing out the pack and takes lead status for Toronto. My baby daddy back to the track, a little defensive action against Senior Wiener, but not enough to hold him. Meanwhile, Toronto's defense working on MBD, but he's able to come around safe side. 5 points up for Senior Wiener. Pack extending from turn 2 and moving ever so slowly. We're seeing a great deal of penalty activity. 2 blockers for each team in the box. Senior Wiener makes it quick and calls it off. Let's see, we have 4 points. Do we have 4 more? A 4-3 jam, 8-3 jam in favor of the Toronto Outrage, taking them to 55 over Mass Maelstrom's 30. We have just shy of 16 minutes remaining in the half as we head into jam 10.
It's 5-1-3, Shred Flanders wearing the star once again for the Toronto Outrage, and Rocky wearing the star for the Mass Maelstrom. Maelstrom starting 2 skaters in the bin. Toronto also starting with 2 skaters in the bin. But Shred Flanders was able to get through that pack, grab lead jammer, and now is on the scoring pass. Rocky making it through. Looks like a track cut penalty for Rocky. Rocky getting sent to the sin bin.
And frozen in the penalty box at that because of the call-off.
That's tough with Mass Maelstrom at 30 and Toronto Outrage at 60. Already doubling their score with less than 15 minutes left in this half. We've got some serious, fast-moving derbies so far.
Most definitely. And something that is extra special about Battle of Bunker Hills Roller Derby Invitational 2018 is the fact that it's an MRDA recognized event. So kind of special, and the fact that it changed up just a little bit this year. Not only do we have 4 teams within the MRDA competing, we have 4 from the WFTDA, but the MRDA action we've seen today, especially what's going on right now with Kilman fighting a brace 2 wall of Maelstrom blockers, quite exciting. But an open inside lane allows Kilman to snag lead about 40 seconds in.
Kilman coming back around, re-engaging the pack. Oh, a big hit.
That was from Rancor.
Whoa.
So yes, for those, when I let everybody know that Rancor is the only one who can fix that overlay, clearly he has a lot of work that he's doing out and before us. So he's got his hands full today.
I'm not going to lie, I'm very tempted to go over there and start pressing buttons. But
don't do it.
But I think people would rather have the stream than have me going through and pressing buttons and possibly jeopardizing the stream.
I mean, it's quite the beautiful stream, especially for the low, low price of free $99, my favorite.
Free $99.
That's right. I'll give it to you for free $99. Yes, I know it's from a Kanye sketch. But what is not and what is fabulous? Senior Wiener getting out first, snagging lead for the Outrage. We had a star pass to Pickering, who has yet to put the star. Oh, the star is on the helmet. The pack is picking up a great deal of speed. The jam is called, and Senior Wiener takes the 8 points, calls it quits. I apologize, there were only 4. I thought that was an additional 4 points. So 67 points for Toronto Outrage, 30 points for Mass Maelstrom. 12 minutes, 10 seconds remaining in this half. Lucky Jam 13's upon us, and your jammers are Shred Flanders for the Toronto Outrage and Mycopathic Chiller for Mass Maelstrom. And if you're just joining us, Toronto Outrage in white, Mass Maelstrom in blue.
Veteran skater Mycopathic Chiller out in front and lead jammer. Shred Flanders hot on his wheels.
Chiller able to evade Spencer Sleep and calls it off. And it seems that Spencer Sleep doesn't agree that there wasn't a penalty called, alleging skating out of bounds, but I don't know if we'll see an official review. Who knows? 32 points, Mass Maelstrom, 67, Toronto Outrage, 11 minutes, 15 seconds remain.
Both jammers lining up, ready to go. My Baby Daddy taking on Kilman. Kilman, a high-scoring jammer. My Baby Daddy also showing quite a bit of skill in picking up those points that are left on the track. Oh, My Baby Daddy on the inside, taking lead jammer. Kilman literally right on top of him.
Pack moving through the back stretch, spread out as it goes into turn 4. And Low Blow and Cal Recula going shoulder to shoulder in an exchange in turn 3. That was getting tough. But just a single point put up by My Baby Daddy takes Maelstrom to 33 to Toronto 67. So for the first jam in a little while, it appears we have a nice empty penalty box. So a full complement of blockers before us with both jammers. That is Mycopathic Chiller for Maelstrom up against Senior Wiener of Outrage.
Chiller lost in that wall of white. Senior Wiener able to get through now on the scoring pass. Mycopathic Chiller out of the pack. But Senior Wiener going through, grabbing a few points and calling it. Looks like Pickering had to get up there just to give him some kudos. Mass Maelstrom at 33, Toronto Outrage now at 71 with less than 10 minutes on the clock.
And that's just it. You know, we see a great deal of sportsmanship or sportspersonship, if you'd like to call it that, on the track today between all the teams. But I particularly enjoy watching games involving Toronto Outrage because in general, not only do they play pretty good clean derby, I mean everybody gets their penalties, but they have they're a very fun-spirited team. You know, they're upbeat, they have a good time out there, you know, and they're just nice people, and Senior Wiener, one of those nice people.
Well, I would expect nothing less from a Canadian, really.
Well, actually, Senior Wiener is not Canadian.
Yeah, but he's playing for the team, so
yes.
that makes him an honorary Canadian.
But still smashing the stereotype. But I will say something at April Angst this year, a few weeks back in Philly, hosted by the Hooligans. I had the pleasure of being there and being on the announcer crew, and they had the national anthem for both America and for Canada. And for Canada, it was performed by the entire Toronto Outrage. They sang the Canadian national anthem. And it was quite nice. I had to post it on Instagram because I was so impressed. So they all gathered around a microphone, and we took video from the announcer perch. So it was a good time. Right now, we do have an official review called by Toronto Outrage. I do believe what I suspected, but I will get further confirmation for you.
And a shout out to our sponsors, Bagel Heaven in Mashpee, Mass. They have a whole new bagel experience, offering a variety of tasty bagel options, including their new low-carb keto bagel. Thank you, Jamie Lee Hurtis of Providence Roller Derby, for your generous donation and fueling our officials. Check out Bagel Haven at Bagel Haven Cape Cod on Facebook or in person at 681 Falmouth Road in Mashpee, Mass.
And I just have to add, I sampled one of those keto bagels, a cinnamon keto bagel, and it was delicious. So Bagel Haven is what's up. And thank you, Jamie Lee Hurtis, once again. She's my former teammate from Cape Cod Roller Derby who recently transferred this year to Providence. So I have a lot of love for Hurtis.
Fair. No, everybody got a lot of love with those bagels.
Most definitely.
Absolutely spectacular. Looks like we're about to get back on the track. We've got Shred Flanders out there for Toronto Outrage and Andy out there for Mass Maelstrom. Shred Flanders coming out of turn 1 as lead jammer. Andy with some fancy footwork getting through that pack. Shred Flanders recycled, but decides, nah, I'm just going to call it off now. Andy was coming around. Mass Maelstrom at 33, Toronto Outrage at 71. 8 minutes, 50 seconds on the clock.
Quick track maintenance check. We have a friendly chat between Senior Wiener and my baby daddy on the jammer line, getting things started. Now it's all business. A little bit of jammer hip check aggression. And clean up in the straightaway there. A little bit of a pile up. The Senior Wiener able to evade the pack. Lead status is his. And the star has been passed to Pickering coming out of the pack. Adding that star to his head. It is a quick and dirty 4 points. Quick and clean, I should say, because lead was kept and no penalties. So those 4 points bring the Outrage to 75 over Maelstrom's 33. And things are starting to wind down here in the house for day 1 of Battle of Bunker Hill, Invitational 2018. But we have a whole day of Derby tomorrow. And we'll bring you that schedule shortly. But right now, Kilman for Outrage versus Andy of Maelstrom. It is Kilman taking lead, just cutting through on the inside line, making it look simple. Meanwhile, the pack is in turn 1. Andy driven out between turns 1 and 2, able to come back in legally. And wasting no time of catching up within a quarter lap, but Kilman, ever so vigilant, does call it off. We see a forearm call on Doug, number 4, off to the penalty box. Someone does not agree, but still off to the box. We have a 4-3 pack advantage for the Outrage. And giving the jammer line a little breathing room as Shred Flanders and my baby daddy lining up. My baby daddy doing some positional blocking to Shred Flanders out the gate.
Oh, an interesting tactic. Unfortunately, Pearl Jammer not able to stop Shred Flanders getting out of the pack. Toronto Outrage has lead jammer.
Going butt first into the pack. Hashtag butt first. That one's for Julia Sleazer. That was Shred Flanders. Though coming out to the turn 1 apex, driven back by Pickering. My baby daddy also driven to the infield. And just to clarify on that previous official review, so Toronto was asking for a track cut against the opposing jammer 2 gyms ago, but there wasn't enough information, so the no call stands. They do lose their official review, but after all, you cannot take it with you.
apparently folks in the audience calling out for Senior Wiener. Senior Wiener helped bring the Toronto Outrage up to 84 points, and right now just rocketing out of that pack. Andy has a bit of space to make up on the track, and that pack is moving. I tell you, that pack is moving faster than a Kansas highway. Senior Wiener coming in hot, trying to get out. No! Oh! A big pile up there outside of turn 1. Looks like everybody's okay and got up just fine. Toronto Outrage, however, picking up 3 points, bringing them to 87. Mass Maelstrom at 33. 4 minutes, 20 seconds left on the clock. 4 minutes, 20 seconds.
Oh!
Yeah, I know. It's the, hopefully references the kids won't get. That's all right. Out there now, we've got My Baby Daddy taking on Kilman. Kilman in the back, getting up to the front, getting past Pearl Jammer, getting past Rocky. There you go. Out in front and lead Jammer. My Baby Daddy trying to get out of turn 2 and out of that pack. Kilman able to take the inside track. 4 more points on the board for the Toronto Outrage, bringing them to 91. Mass Maelstrom shut down, still at 33.
And I just wanted to recap our schedule tomorrow. Make sure to join us. The games begin at 9 a.m. First with WFTDA action for our first 2 games. At 9, we have Twin State Roller Derby versus Penn Jersey She-Devils. And let's see, 11 a.m., Central New York's Nightmares versus Hartford Area Roller Derby's Whalers. 1 p.m. will be Hooligans versus Mass Maelstrom. 3 p.m., Toronto Outrage versus the Quad Fathers. 5 p.m., Twin State Roller Derby versus Central New York Nightmares. And Hartford Area Roller Derby versus Penn Jersey She-Devils at 7 p.m. But back to the action on track before us. That is Andy getting driven back mid-straightaway on the front stretch. Senior Wiener coming back around, but lead going to Andy at 25 seconds in. Wiener puts up 5. Andy breaking free. Getting caught up a little bit in turn 3, taken out, but able to come back in. 4 points up for Mass Maelstrom. And those are the first points in a couple of jams.
Andy getting recycled. Senior Wiener with an apex jump. Right over that apex. Looks like 3 points. 3 more points going to Toronto Outrage. Mass Maelstrom getting to 38. Toronto Outrage at 99 and a minute and a half on the clock.
Heading into Jam 23 with a full complement of blockers. Shred Flanders lining up against MBD, aka My Baby Daddy.
My Baby Daddy.
Y'all suddenly became was it the WB Frog there?
Yeah, apparently.
Hello, my baby. Hello, my honey. I couldn't help it.
Oh, my heck.
MBD driven back by Spencer Sleep seems to be a recurring theme for the jammers of Mass Maelstrom. Definitely Spencer Sleep, nobody to sleep on because he's doing the things. But we had a cut call against Shred Flanders, so that means Mass Maelstrom has a power jam. Outrage with the drawback courtesy of Pink Slaminade. And MBD fighting the wall, but Pickering getting in there, playing some, up the line. MBD takes lead about 40 seconds into the jam. We'll see if Outrage goes for the penalty kill. Oh, they may have attempted, but it did not work. 5-point grand slam in favor of Mass Maelstrom. Shred Flanders Appears
That did not sound good.
appears to have sustained an injury. So we will take a minute and wait to see how quickly we'll return to gameplay. He was driven to the infield at the end of the jam. So currently 99 Toronto Outrage, 47 Mass Maelstrom.
All right, we're going to let that skater get checked out. We are in a timeout. One of our vendors today was Turn 2 Skate Shop. Turn 2 Skate Shop is skater-owned and operated by Kissy Kicks of Rock Coast Rollers. Turn 2 is located in Portland, Maine. Check out Turn 2 Skate Shop for your that's turn2skateshop.com for your online derby shopping needs. Turn 2 sponsors leagues, so get your league sponsored to receive product discounts by emailing turn2skate@gmail.com. Also, do you know the name of that frog?
Michigan J Frog.
Michigan J Frog.
It took me a second. I was like, oh, the WB Frog. But yes, I remember Michigan J Frog. Again, random trivia. What is it? Vital information for your everyday life.
Oh, yeah. Why
Yes.
do we know that? One night, my kids were asking me about old television shows, and I said, yeah, like Mr. Ed. And they said, Mr. what? I said, Mr. Ed. The talking horse. Next thing you know, I belted out the entire theme song.
You would.
And I swear I had not thought about Mr. Ed in probably 20-some odd years, but for some reason I knew the theme song off the top of my head.
Certain things just stick with you. It's kind of crazy, but yes, I know. As for one of my fun side gigs, I host bar trivia a couple nights a week. And that is something I start retaining some of the trivia answers, like random facts, and it's so funny because when I said vital information for your everyday life, that was a reference to All That from Nickelodeon. Oh, we're glad to see that Shred Flanders able to get up with some assistance and heading back to his bench, going to receive medical attention if needed. And the camera will return to the track shortly. We're just letting him get to his bench. I'm going to turn down the house volume. I figured out how to do that.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh, I get it. You're allowed to touch the controls, but I'm not allowed. I see how this works.
No, all I did was turn down the volume for the ambient mic. I think for all of us, especially anybody who's been injured in the course of roller derby, myself included, although 6 years ago, I like to respect what's happening. And just in case anyone is hurt to the point where they are in so much pain that they scream, no one wants to hear that.
Yeah.
And the skater most definitely would not want anyone to hear that. So that's why we very respectfully took the volume down on the house mic, but not to worry. Your stream will be coming back in just a moment. Bear with me while we adjust.
Hope nobody's getting motion sickness from that.
It's slow.
It's slow. We are not talking about Blair Witch Project levels of jostling, so we should be okay. All right.
Blair Witch Project level of jostling is pretty epic.
All right, looks like we're going to get back on the track. We've got, get this, Mass Maelstrom at 47, Toronto Outrage at 99. And 5 seconds on the clock. So knowing about the announcer curse, I'm gonna say it. This may just be the last jam of the half.
I'm receiving texts from Crimson Alchemia, who is down in the house announcing, and yeah, getting some interesting texts. I'm just going to say that. Sometimes we like to play jokes on each other. I think last year we had the little tiny hands.
The tiny hands.
And I was heckling him with video on Facebook, and while he was up near the stream booth, and he's also heckling me right now via text. But what's most important is Andy versus Senior Wiener off that jammer line. They've been released into the pack, both facing strong brace two loss. But Andy taking lead status for Mass Maelstrom, as they are about almost an entire lap ahead of Senior Wiener right now.
Andy able to cut right through that pack. That's 4 more points on the board for Mass Maelstrom. The period clock is at 0. The jam clock at 1:18. 51 points on the board for Maelstrom and 99 for Toronto Outrage. Now we're up to 56 points for the Maelstrom. Senior Wiener still trying to get through that pack. Senior Wiener trying to make a hop past that apex, no such luck. Andy able to get by for another 5 big points, bringing the Mass Maelstrom up to 61. Andy once again skating right through. They're having a field day out there, just picking up those points.
I know. Andy looks so casual as they come around the track. It's like, okay, doing the thing, hitting the points, going, breezing through the pack.
Practically nonchalant.
Oh, wait. Speaking of not so nonchalant, Senior Wiener with the drawback on Andy, going for the soul crush. Andy has lead status, says, ain't nobody got time for that, smiles and calls it. Now,
that was a good call.
Yeah, it really was. 19-3 on that jam in favor of Mass Maelstrom. 66 points Maelstrom, 102 Toronto Outrage. What a first half. So we'll be back in about 14 minutes or so, maybe 13, and bringing you the conclusion of Mass Maelstrom versus Toronto Outrage, closing out day 1 of Battle of Bunker Hill Invitational 2018. It's funny. Watching it, and I remember that, and that's so yeah, that's why I'm like, yeah. and I come out and they're like, man, she can know what she was. They're both still themselves. And so we're talking, I was like, sorry guys. I was like, I couldn't help it. They're like, we knew somebody was in here. And then we heard you. I knew it was you. Because I had no one else. So what is this business? New clear voice?
Yeah, give it a couple shots.
This time voices expression for what is it?
Eucalyptus and some other stuff. Things. Oh. I don't. It's okay.
Smart. Yeah. It's one of those that you gotta think of it. I know I was planning on hitting a store before I got here and I went, I'm not gonna have time. Especially after picking up Prim on the side of the highway. Couldn't have worked out better. She's like, I feel like a dick leaving. I'm like, dude, just you have your job, they know that. He's like, okay. I was like, oh man. And I offered, I was like, if you need AAA, we can use my AAA, I'll leave a card for you.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, well, I mean, Redfield was working on his last study, and I guess one of the nuts was stuck. And they were able to get it out, but it took a while. It was a tricky one. Yeah, give it up.
Here we go, folks. Looks like we've got less than a minute to go before we get started on the second half. Mass Maelstrom starting at 68 points. Toronto Outrage starting at 102. Mass Maelstrom's got quite a bit to catch up there. Let's see if their jam team has it in them. It's been a long day today in Fitchburg, Massachusetts. Battle of Bunker Hill, day 1. If you want to talk to us, of course, we are... you can reach us at Talk2BobH. That's hashtag Talk2BobH on the tweeters.
And that's number 2, numeric digit 2. So Talk2BobH.
Yeah, if you just put T-O or T-O-O, we're not going to know who the heck that is. We're not looking for that. We're looking at hashtag Talk2BobH. Hopefully
And
Bob H has made it today.
I don't know. Bob H is kind of been on the fritz.
Well, Bob H is always on the periphery. Does not like to make a big show when showing up.
No, but Bob H is always watching.
Oh, always. We are always under the watchful eye of Bob H.
Sometimes I feel like somebody's watching me.
It's Bob H. It's Bob H. Is that how that song goes?
I don't know, but we'll leave that to Rockwell and MJ. But back to the action. That's right, we've got Pickering wearing the Jammer Star, so seeing that change, Pickering's taken the Star Pass a few times for Maelstrom, and Senior Wiener out ahead, lead to his credit. Sylvia Sleep with the drawback on Pickering, who has stashed the Star now. 5 points up for Senior Wiener. Pickering able to exit the pack, but it took quite a bit thanks to the strong defensive efforts of the Outrage. 4 points up on the last pass for Senior Wiener, a total of 9, placing Toronto Outrage at 111 to Maelstrom 68, and just shy of a minute into the second half. Incredible output already from Toronto Outrage.
I have to say, Senior Wiener's got a very delicate call-off sign. Kind of flutters the hands next to the hips, like a penguin, if you will.
Right, but it definitely draws the attention. It's nothing too big or crazy. And I don't know, perhaps that has to do with the fact that he's also an official at times and tries to keep it focused. Hips, hips.
Hips, hips.
Because even at the Men's Roller Derby World Cup this year, there was an incident with Team France where the jammer couldn't reach his hips because of the blockers around him.
Oh.
And there was a mistaken call-off. So, it's really important to make sure the emphasis is at the hip. But while we were talking, Andy from Maelstrom picked up a cut call off to the penalty box, so power jam for Kilman. Kilman just picks up a cut, probably because we mentioned Andy's cut. And a jammer switcheroo, Andy to be released, and there they are, back to the track. Maelstrom setting up for a sweeping pick, but does not happen. They're going passive instead. Andy pushing it out in the backstretch, going butt first towards Sylvia Sleep, but she is the last line of defense against Andy. And excellent maneuvering by Andy to match Sylvia's motion, able to use momentum to get around her. So, of course, this jam will go the full duration.
41 seconds on the jam clock.
Add 4 for Maelstrom. Maelstrom taking the front of the pack as it passes the jammer line, emerging toward the pivot line, but able to drive back Kilman. Chiller with that drawback into turn 4. Oh, a cutting call again on Andy.
We've got 10 seconds left in this jam. Andy is going to be sitting in that penalty box for the next jam.
Maelstrom's defense at the front, but some interference from Arnold Baconenegger. Able to keep Rocky in place, almost cemented between an opposition. Yes, Arnold Baconenegger.
Arnold Baconenegger, there you go.
Instead of
number 132.
Yeah. I have to stop myself. I want to say Baconenegger.
Yeah, it's Baconenegger.
Baconenegger. Baconenegger. Yes, get it? Like Schwarzenegger?
But Baconenegger, yes.
And more of a verbal challenge for the announcers. Thank you, sir. Okay, back to our jam in progress. Power start to Senior Wiener and the Outrage. Lead to Senior Wiener. Andy being released from the penalty box on a wide open inside line. Able to avoid the pack pretty much. And a wonderful catch from Pearl Jammer and Pickering. But once Senior Wiener comes around, but first past Pickering with the transition, calls it off. 0 points for Mass Maelstrom, but 5 for the Outrage. 118 to 76. 25.5 minutes remain as we head into Jam 4.
Jammers are approaching the pack. We've got My Baby Daddy taking on Kilman. Mass Maelstrom starting at 76, Toronto Outrage at 118.
And just an update on penalty counts. Crimson Alchemia, our house announcer, was kind enough to provide a heads up that Spencer Sleep, number 222 on the Outrage, currently sitting at 6 penalties. So at risk if he gets one more, but pulls off the drawback penalty free. But otherwise, no one else is in that position on either team, so that's a good thing.
Both jammers getting recycled way back, almost to turn 4. Oh! Kilman knocked to the outside by Pickering. Pickering getting sent to the blocker brig. Mass Maelstrom's going to be down 2 skaters going into the next jam. Yeah, we also have 2 sleeps on the Toronto Outrage. We've got Sylvia Sleep and Spencer Sleep.
That's correct.
213 and 222.
Both members of Team Canada at this year's Men's Roller Derby World Cup.
Nice.
Yes, and yes, they are siblings.
Ah, siblings. Good to know.
And the great thing was, you could see in the crowd at the Men's Roller Derby World Cup in Barcelona, Team Sleep, their friends and family who made the trip, and they had shirts made up with their both numbers that said Team Sleep.
Oh, that's
it was really nice.
Next year, I hear they're going to use Snuggies. I think that's more appropriate game wear for Team Sleep.
I don't know. I mean, you've clearly seen how both Spencer and Sylvia play. Yeah, no, nothing sleepy about it.
Oh, nothing sleepy about them, but the fans, let me tell you, a pack of narcoleptics. You've never seen people, they can sleep standing up. They're positively fantastic. No insomnia in that family at all. Not even a CPAP machine among them.
Well, I guess that's a good thing. But setting up for our next gym, My Baby Daddy versus Pink's Lemonade. First time we're in the star in this game. And of course, the pack advantage 4-2 in favor of the Outrage as two blockers were awaiting release from the penalty box. And it is Pink's Lemonade picking up lead for Toronto. 128 points currently, Toronto Outrage 76 for Maelstrom. Let's see if Pink's Lemonade and My Baby Daddy add any more.
Pink's Lemonade up front trying to get past the Maelstrom defense. My Baby Daddy number 76 making it through the pack. Pink's Lemonade getting past turn 2, getting past the pack, calling it off. That's 5 points on the board for the Outrage, bringing him to 133. Mass Maelstrom still stuck at 76 with 22 minutes left on the clock. Looks like Chiller number 40 is going to be wearing the star for the Mass Maelstrom on this jam. Taking on Senior Wiener.
So a 4-2 pack advantage for Mass Maelstrom as Toronto has two blockers, including their pivot, in the penalty box.
All right, Mycopathic Chiller getting through the pack before turn 1. Senior Wiener fighting with an elbow pad. Mycopathic Chiller picking up the points, calling it off. How many points did they get? That's 4 points on the board for the Mass Maelstrom, bringing them up to 80. Toronto Outrage stuck at 133 with 21 minutes on the clock.
That 53-point lead, it is manageable for Maelstrom to be able to catch up. All it could take is a power jam or two, or maybe not even. However, we've seen overall, as far as jammers go, not all that many penalties. We've seen Kilman end up in the box a few times, but I'm pretty sure that was about it. Speaking of Kilman, on the jammer line up against Andy, it is Andy! They're out first, picking up lead for Maelstrom. Meanwhile, the pack's still behind the pivot line, just slowly moving into turn 1 as Kilman attempts to push it out. Swarmed by all four blockers of Maelstrom, but Recula heading back. There's a multiplayer block called on Bacon and Egger.
Andy trying to shove their way through the pack. Getting hit by Sleep.
Andy using the Gumby-like qualities bestowed upon them by nature. 5 points to Andy. Seriously, I love watching Andy as they roll. You'll notice there are some jammers, they go with like really angry shoulders.
Oh yeah.
Andy doesn't do that. Andy's approach seems a little bit more chill. And Andy able to get past the apex, adding 5 more as the pack sits right before turn 2. Bacon and Egger doling out a shoulder hit to Recula to get back with his teammates. Meanwhile, Pickering ready to offer some offense, but Andy able to get through just fine on the outside. Calls it off. Let's see how many points for Andy. But yes, Andy does this thing where they roll. They'll roll back and forth against the opposition.
Yeah.
Like with the shoulders, keeping their arms down and out of the potential position to get you know, a silly error, a silly penalty like a forearm. So they tend to do the shoulder roll. And I love it because Andy uses core engagement, it seems, to really be able to regulate that. And I don't know, it's magical. I love it.
Yeah, it's like watching Oobleck move around through the pack. Just the way Andy's able to move around. Absolutely spectacular. But enough about Andy. Let's talk about my baby daddy. My baby daddy just got a track cut and is getting sent to the penalty box.
I have to take it back to Andy for a second, just because it's like watching Andy jam and do the roll around. They're like a wacky waving inflatable tube man.
Wacky waving inflatable tube man. Wacky waving inflatable tube man.
Right? And with the motion, because you just don't know, they roll back and forth. But MBD just released from the penalty box because we had the jammer switcheroo as Kilman took a seat. So MBD back out. We'll see what he can do on the track. Caught up by the Toronto tripod.
Nice one. My baby daddy making it through the pack. Now on the scoring pass. Kilman also on the track. Getting released from the penalty box. Now both jammers out there. Mass Maelstrom down by one blocker.
MBD pausing for a second before re-emerging into the pack. Kilman with 4. MBD able to surpass the opposing blockers, puts up 4 as well at 99 points.
Mass Maelstrom now 1 point away from the century mark.
Well, you know, 99 points, all he needs is 1.
All you need is 1.
But in this case, technically 38 points if they want to surpass the Outrage.
Oh, absolutely. But there we go. That's 5 points on the board for my baby daddy. Just waiting for those points to get up on the board. There we go. Mass Maelstrom now at 104. Toronto Outrage up to 138. We've seen multiple bouts with 30-point jams or better than 20-point jams. So this is definitely within striking distance with 16 and a half minutes on the clock.
You're correct, also. And here's we have the pivot stripe getting passed around a little bit for Toronto, but deciding on Arnold, Bacon, and Egger. Andy versus Senior Wiener off the jammer line. Andy driven to the infield. They're still fighting it out. But we have Senior Wiener ahead by about 3/4 of a lap, taking lead for Toronto. Pickering doing the one-on-one blocking. Senior Wiener pulls a transition, picks up the 4 points, quickly calls it off. 142 Outrage, 104 Mass Maelstrom. 15 and a half minutes remain. We're heading into Jam 11.
I believe that's Pearl Jammer in the penalty box.
Why, yes, indeed.
So Mass Maelstrom starting one skater down at 104. Toronto Outrage 142. My baby daddy is going to be the jammer for the Maelstrom. Pink Slaminade, the jammer for the Toronto Outrage.
So we've seen the Outrage change their jammer rotation just a hair on the second half, and Pink Slaminade being quite effective, just securing lead for Outrage. MBD all willy-nilly across the infield to find his position at the back of the pack as he was cycled back in. Both jammers caught up in the shuffle as the pack slowly moves into turn 1. Spencer Sleep with the drawback on MBD. Maelstrom's pivot off to the penalty box. Pink Slaminade driven to the infield, coming on back and resetting. We do have not just the pivot, but an additional blocker, Pearl Jammer, in the penalty box for Maelstrom. So that leaves Rancor, I believe Recula, out on the track.
Wow.
Oh no, that was Pickering. Pickering forcing Pink Slaminade to the infield. 5 points put up by Pink Slaminade. keeping Maelstrom at 0 on that jam. So 147 Toronto, 104 Mass. Senior Wiener versus Andy. And right before the jam whistle goes, Senior Wiener mentioning to low blow to move the pack up. Lead to Senior Wiener with signature grin coming right around. And taking full advantage of a nice empty inside line because his blockers provided the perfect distraction as a form of offense.
We had a star pass there to Mycopathic Chiller. Chiller just barely entering the pack. No points awarded for that. However, we got 6 points on the board for Toronto Outrage there at 153 and the Mass Maelstrom at 104.
And I don't know if you noticed, but Shred Flanders on the bench for Toronto Outrage cheering on his teammates. Could hear the applause a few seconds ago while he's sitting there with his feet elevated. So it's good to see him in good spirits. A team timeout called by the Outrage. Don't forget to join us for day 2 of Battle of Bunker Hill tomorrow. That's right, the fun and games begin at 9 a.m. live here at the Wallace Civic Center in beautiful Fitchburg, Massachusetts. And our conglomeration of voices will be bringing you all of the gameplay for the low price of $3.99, courtesy of the YouTube stream put on by Mass Maelstrom. First game of the day, 9 a.m., Twin State Roller Derby, the Upper Valley Vixens, taking on Penn Jersey's She Devils. So the first 2 games are WFTDA sanctioned. 11 a.m., Central New York's Nightmares versus Hartford area roller derbies Whalers, or as I like to call them, the Mighty Whale. 1 p.m., MRDA game of Philadelphia Hooligans versus Mass Maelstrom. That's always a good time, that pairing. Can't wait for that. And at 3 p.m., the Toronto Men's Outrage versus Quadfathers. And shifting back, our last 2 games of the day are WFTDA. So you notice 4 MRDA games today, 2 WFTDA. It shifts gears tomorrow. So 5 p.m. is Twin States Upper Valley Vixens versus Central New York Nightmares. And closing it out at 7 p.m. with the Whalers of Hartford versus Penn Jersey She Devils. So more action to come all day tomorrow. We'll be talking the derbs, so hope you will join us.
All right, we've got Mycopathic Chiller wearing the star for the Maelstrom and Pink Slamonade wearing the star for the Toronto Outrage. Pink Slamonade busting through that pack, picking up lead jammer. Veteran skater Mycopathic Chiller with the silk off his helmet, ready to make that star pass. No, able to get through the pack. Looks like he's keeping the star for now.
Just a stash.
Pink Slamonade calling it off. Doug knocking her into the outside. I'm not sure if you guys follow the weather here in Fitchburg, Mass, but it was raining today, but I hear the sun will come out tomorrow. I mean, you can bet your bottom dollar that tomorrow there's going to be sun.
Okay, Annie.
So hopefully it's going to be a little bit warmer in here for everybody.
Shall I call you Oso Warbucks?
Well.
Or Little Orphan Oso?
Yeah, I prefer Little Orphan Oso. My daddy, my wife would be Daddy Warbucks.
Okay, there you go.
Or as I like to call her, the boss.
Oh, okay. Well, special shout out to Kim. She's wonderful. And unfortunately not able to join us this weekend.
Got stuck
but we understand
working.
work happens.
Oh.
But yes, the boss.
The boss. Literally, she just texted me, literally just got home from work.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Well, not to be confused with Bruce Springsteen. She's much more easy on the eyes. And a lovely person. I don't know about Bruce Springsteen, but I'm just saying for me. But that is Senior Wiener able to surpass the pack. Adding 5 points up. Oh no, that's 4, excuse me. 162 for the Outrage, 104 for Mass Maelstrom. 10 minutes, 45 seconds remaining in the game. as far as rock stars go.
All right, Mass Maelstrom's got Andy wearing the star. Pink Slaminade wearing the star once again, and out in front is lead jammer. Pink Slaminade getting pushed to the outside. Andy able to get through. Star Silk in hand. Oh!
Making an egger with the hip hit on the apex, driving Andy to the infield.
It almost felt like an afterthought, like, oh, hey, are you trying to get past that apex? No!
Oh, honey, that's never an afterthought.
Fair, fair.
As a blocker who loves doing that to jammers, I can verify that.
You're looking for that opportunity to.
Oh yes, all you gotta do,
you
just stand on the line, stick out the hips just a little. Oh, it's perfect. That's Funky Punky Monkey. We go way back with that.
Oh, I love watching Funky Punky Monkey play.
She and I have had a few collisions when it comes to the apex and a little bit of a hip block. So.
Nice.
And we can laugh about it now.
Pink Slaminade.
Oh, beautiful apex jump from Andy. If I had instant replay, I would use it for that.
Andy, 14 points on the board so far, bringing Mass Maelstrom up to 118. Toronto Outrage at 162. There you go, Andy. How about another? Oh, no. How about a track cut penalty? I honestly thought that 5 in the sky was going to go up, but no such luck.
And that happened between turns 1 and 2. There was a brief moment where Andy had stepped out, but I believe that they were thinking that it was a no pass, no penalty, or no point, no penalty. However, it turned into a cut. And that's why we have officials, because they have vantage points that we cannot see.
So now we're at 118 for the Mass Maelstrom, 167 for Toronto Outrage, 8 minutes and 15 seconds on the clock. Has it gone by that fast?
Oh, it most definitely has.
Wow.
And again, we'd like to thank our officials. We have 2 excellent crews, Rubik's Cube and Sugar Mayhem Cats. Even though Sugar Mayhem Cats may not have chosen that name, they were given it, not by me, by perhaps one of their head officials. So Sugar Mayhem Cats, that's our second crew. And I do believe that is the crew that's out before us. Yes, Sugar Mayhem Cats. So thank you again. Senior Wiener, 5 in the sky. Not really.
Still out there getting through the pack. Senior Wiener coming around with a vengeance, trying to get past Pickering, but no, calls it off.
Pickering too smart for the fake.
Yeah, no kidding.
That's the thing. Pickering, I love watching Pickering skate because he tends to have this laser focus, especially when the jammer comes up, and he's so calm.
Oh,
It's really interesting to watch. And it not only is reflected in his skating, but also when I see him coaching at Boston.
Yeah, for a good time. Check out Boston Roller Derby as well. That's a lot of fun. But we are here in Fitchburg, Mass, watching the Battle of Bunker Hill. We've got Mycopathic Chiller versus Kilman. Kilman seeing an open door and running right through it.
Chiller not far behind, and fun fact, Mycopathic Chiller, current president of our host league and the team you see before you in blue, Mass Maelstrom.
They could not have picked a better human being to run the organization. I've known Mycopathic Chiller ever since I got into roller derby, and he's always been a genuinely fantastic human being.
I'd have to agree. Okay, a scoreless jam for both teams. Ooh. As it did launch full speed ahead, and just that foot race eliminated the possibility of scoring, and a quick call-off occurred. So 3-on-3 in the pack, and we have Crimson Alchemia over in the corner of your screen on the right, who's doing the Bernie in his fabulous Pharaoh leggings. No one rocks spandex like Crimson Alchemia because he is a true rock star. These are my people. The crew,
and she admits it.
The crew that Oso and I selected. The lead jammer status secured by Senior Wiener of the Outrage. His competition currently is, well, Pickering, because it looks like we had a star pass off to Pickering, working mid-pack. Rocky going for some offense, but it is my baby daddy who is getting in there, but picking up some speed. It's really hard sometimes to play offense if the pack is moving so quickly in order to maintain focus. So we do see Pickering just break through before the pivot line, and Senior Wiener putting up 4, preloading his call off.
Oh, fluttering the penguin flaps. There you go. That's what, I swear that's what it looks like. It reminds me of a penguin. I just want to, because that's...
we'll have to share that with Senior Wiener later, that his call-off reminds you of penguins.
Yes, absolutely.
Now, of course, I think of Happy Feet and all the little happy penguins and tap dancing and the music, all before it gets dark and, you know, serious.
Well, you know, Happy Feet, made by the same guy that made Mad Max Fury Road.
Really?
Really.
Oh my. Well, he has range. Okay, but you know who else has range out on the track? Andy, blocking, jamming, all of the things. Lead jammer in this specific case, up against Pink Slaminate, who's about a quarter lap behind.
The pack starting to form up.
Spencer Sleep going for the hit, not able to get on him. However, Lolo able to catch Andy.
Spencer Sleep being careful to keep his hands to himself. I think he knows where he's at on the foul board.
Yes, Spencer Sleep, very cognizant of his current penalty count. A multiplayer block assist to LC later of Maelstrom. She's off to the penalty box. Ooh. Meanwhile, Schiller with the drawback on Pink Slaminate. Low closing in on Schiller. Both pivots run back, both Sylvia Sleep and Schiller. But Schiller with the shoulder taking Pink Slaminate to the infield. We have the best seat in the house right here, I just have to say. Andy, take it to the infield by Sylvia Sleep. Now take it to the out by Lolo. The defense proving too strong on both sides. 4 points up for Maelstrom, courtesy of Andy. Make it 7 points from Andy. 3 points for Outrage, so Toronto at 188, Massachusetts 125. Just under 3 minutes remain in the game, and we have, is that no? No, that would be a team timeout called by Mass Maelstrom.
Both teams still have their official review. Looks like 2 timeouts left for Toronto Outrage. Mass Maelstrom using one of their last 2 timeouts as well.
We've noticed that there hasn't been a whole lot of things to contest in this game. Both teams, pretty aware of what's up. They know where they're at, and not many calls to question. It's always nice, and this game, a friendly match to close out the day.
125 to 188. Wow.
And I just want to throw it out there. Don't forget, for all our viewers at home or wherever it is that you're watching, make sure to tell your friends if they want to catch the games tomorrow here at Day 2 Battle of Bunker Hill Invitational 2018. All they need to do is follow Mass Maelstrom on YouTube and subscribe to their channel. When you subscribe, your notifications, as long as they're on, you'll receive a notification when we go live for every game. So make sure you're doing that, and you can stay on top of all the latest Battle of Bunker Hill scores, of course. And the games are immediately archived upon their completion. How about that?
Now that is just plain awesome.
I think so. Thank you, Rancor, for that.
Again, that way you can go through and you can catch all the action that you missed because it was moving too fast.
Or you can go back and rewatch those favorite moments over and over again.
Just like your own personal Eye of Agamotto.
Yes, just like that.
My baby daddy out there, but Kilman's got lead. That's 5 points on the board. My baby daddy making it through the pack. Putting that Star Silk back on the helmet. 5 more points on the board for the Toronto Outrage at 196 now. Mass Maelstrom 125. 1 minute 40 seconds on the clock. Once again, I'm going to laugh in the face of curses and say, look, a timeout. An official review.
Official review, which I believe is being used as a timeout unless we see any conferring.
Well,
there's some conferring.
This is my fault. I laughed in the face of the announcer curse, and this is how it happens.
Dang it, oh-so.
Oh, I
Look
tell
what
ya.
you did, you little jerk.
Look what I did. Laughing in the face of a curse. You know, I should have, you know, much like they say, much like the Ghostbusters say, if someone asks you if you are a god, you say yes. Don't laugh in the face of curses. I should have known better. Just a fact of life.
There is no curse, only Zool.
I am the Keymaster.
Yes, I'm sure you are. I don't know what Crimson Alchemy is doing. We have video. Meanwhile, in Fitchburg.
Oh, did you see his Unsolved Mysteries
I did.
video? I just watched that. I thought it was one of the greatest things I've ever seen.
So, okay.
Oh my
Crimson Alchemy, comic gold always. He never stops. I just received a text from him that says, official review, my leggings are great, call stands. So
Yes, they are, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, they are.
Doing the
leggings are
squats.
great.
And there's people
Call
in the
stands.
stands who are cheering this on. It is amazing.
All right, so I believe that's oh, I thought that was
We have the Muscle
Sam
Man.
the Floor.
No. Muscle Man display over there from Crimson Alchemy to the right in the corner of your screen. Yes, it did get caught in the wide angle. Thanks, Rancor, for that. Yes, it's the end of the day. Bear with us during this official review. You know, we're making do, and
Wow.
I apologize. I'm getting a little punchy. A little sorry, not sorry there, because what's Derby if it's not fun?
Oh, absolutely true. Hey, as long as they're not calling in the paddy wagon on us, we're going to be okay.
Exactly. I mean, maybe for you. Maybe for you. Okay, what is this? What did he do?
Here we go. Looks like we're going to get back to the action. Mass Maelstrom at 125, Toronto Outrage 196 with 1.5 minutes on the clock.
Okay, so the video that I just noticed that Crimson Alchemy posted is him looking at the Zamboni in its little garage bay. With the eyebrows like, Well, if he takes that Zamboni for a ride, I'm going with him. Lead to Senior Wiener, who's totally welcome to go on the Zamboni ride because that would be fun, and he's fun. Okay.
Well, as a Canadian, a Zamboni is the first vehicle that every Canadian at 16 years old learns to drive.
Perpetuating stereotypes, sir. Make it stop. As funny as it is. I want to be one of the, you know how there are sometimes kids and sometimes adults who get to ride on the Zamboni as a passenger when you go to Bruins games or other NHL or AHL games. And I want to be a passenger on the Zamboni. I think it would be fun.
You should have known me back in '92. I rode a Zamboni in the desert.
No. I want a Zamboni on ice.
No. It was on ice in the desert.
That's interesting. You know what else is interesting? 5 points up for Senior Wiener, a total of 14 thus far. And a power jam, no less, as Pickering picks up a cut track penalty.
All right, we've got look at 10 seconds on the period clock, 40 seconds on the jam clock. Again, I laugh in the face of the curse and say this is the last jam of the first day of the Battle of Bunker Hill 2018.
Senior Wiener calling it off when the jam clock hits 30 seconds because at 30 seconds or less,
You get your pizza for free?
No.
Oh.
Domino's doesn't do that anymore,
Oh,
to my knowledge. They stopped that a while ago. But it appears that perhaps the game will stop unless someone calls for an official review or a timeout, because both teams have a few of either left.
All right, looks like 128 Mass Maelstrom, 214 Toronto Outrage. That's your final score, kids.
It's official, so thank you for sticking with us. Oh, and that last official review, Toronto was asking for a track cut, but of course the no call stood. That's why they lost the official review. But yes, thanks for sticking with us all day. Of course, feel free to check out the archive on Mass Maelstrom's YouTube channel. And join us tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. for our first game of the day. And I'll tell you what that is. I know it's Twin State. I just don't want to tell you the wrong opposition. So it will be Twin State Roller Derby's Upper Valley Vixens versus Penn Jersey She Devils. Bright and early, 9 a.m. Get your coffee. Be ready. Up and at 'em. We'll be here for you, because that's who we do this for the fans, right?
Heck yeah.
So thank you again for tuning in on our free stream, and we'll see you in the morning. Beautiful Banshee signing off.
Same here with Oso Blanco Fabuloso.